Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you about the ABCD pattern. Um, I'm going to show you an example of the bullish version of the pattern. Now it can be used in bullish or bearish, and it'll make sense at the end what the difference is. But the fundamentals of it are that with an ABCD, what you're identifying is a reversal. So you're identifying the exact point at which price is going to reverse from its trend over the distance that you are doing the pattern. So an ABCD looks like this. You have a run up in a bullish version, followed by a retrace down, and then you have a run up again. Now your actual point of reversal in this upward trend is right here. And you can use this by figuring out the A, the B, the C, and ultimately the D. So in actually using this while you're trading, you want to be looking for where your D could come into play once A, B, and C have been defined. Because once these three have been defined, you can carefully watch this area of trading time. And if the price approaches the estimated D point, it's actually pretty exact. It's generally not estimated. You can safely say in a majority situation that you're going to see a reversal to a certain extent. So let me show you exactly how this works here. So the ABCD have very specific points where they need to be on a Fibonacci retracement chart, or indicator, I'm sorry. So your A to B leg is simply the move of the Fib. So from swing low to swing high, your first move, you have A and B. If I can type B, there we go. Now your C leg, or I'm sorry, your C retracement is going to come down. I wrote this fib backwards. Make sure you write your fibs in the right direction, otherwise you will run into this problem. Notice how my 768 or 786 is up top. This should be vice versa. When you have your move from swing low to swing high, this first bar coming down in the retracement should be a 0.236 retracement level. That's saying you've retraced through your move 23.6%. So luckily I can just reverse that in my settings here. So our first B to C should come down to a minimum of the 0.618 level. It can reach all the way to the 0.786 and still be valid. So this is the zone that we're looking at. Typically, it won't be exactly on the dot. You do have the luxury of looking for this range in here. So I'm just going to put it in the middle for this example because that can happen. The C to D leg is going to exceed your initial move. Now, it's going to exceed it to a Fibonacci extension level, similar to how this retracement had to come between the 0.618 and the 786. We're going to need to use our Fibonacci retracement tool. I'm sorry, Fibonacci extension tool. If you're not familiar with using extensions or retracements, I do have a video on those in the indicators section of my YouTube channel. So go ahead and watch those if you're lost at this point, and then come back. So we have our A, our B, our C, and the D needs to stop in between the 1.272 and the 1.618. It needs to be somewhere in this zone. It could be over here, which would be really unusual. It could be over here. It could be way over here. It just needs to stop in between this zone without having like an obvious downtrend. So like if you came here first and then you fell back down over here, that would invalidate this whole situation. What we're looking for is going relatively clearly from the C to the D without setting any new highs or lows or creating any long-term formations sideways. So it should look generally like this. Now, these points, so let me write these out. just so you can clearly see them. Your A to B is the initial move. Create your fib from these points. Okay. The B to C is a 0.618 retracement of the AB move. So coming back to here, we're going to this 0.618. I should actually say that this can be 0.618 to 0.786 retracement of the AB move. Your C to D is a 1.272 to 1.618 extension of the AB move. So this right here is an ABCD. Now, the next logical step in this situation is that once we've reached this area needs to be watched intently, because at any given point in here, chances are you're going to see a reversal. Now, when I set stops, or I'm sorry, not stops, when I set targets, let's say I was shorting this point right here. In this case, this would be somewhere to either sell what you're holding and then re-enter later, or to short it up here and then cover your position later. So the actual target here, my go-to targets, if you take a fib, sorry, other way around, take a fib from B to C, I'm sorry, a fib from D to C, my targets are usually set at the 618. So if you were shorting here, you would look for profit down at the 618. Now, the ABCD does not mean that this upward trend in overall is going to be reversed and keep going. All it's saying is that in the interim, in the overall move, you're very likely going to get a retrace down to the 618 of the CD move. So let's look for this in some actual real charts here. This is Bitcoin to USD on Bitfinex on a 4-hour chart. It is 9 p.m. in California. So there's one that just happened here. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to give you a chance to see if you can tell where they are. You should be looking for, remember, this type of movement here. Okay, so there's one from here to here. That's our AB, our BC, and our CD, leading into a drop. Now let me show you something really cool about Coinigy, something really cool about TradingView. Coinigy uses the TradingView platform. You have over here a tool called the ABCD pattern. Careful not to use the XABCD, the ABCD. So if we take that move I just highlighted, our A to our B, and then we define our C, it actually lists, you know what, see, that was actually invalid. I made that from the wrong point. This is actually our low down here. What in the world? There it is. Sorry guys. See, you really got to look for them, and that's what this tool is useful for, because this is an overall upward trend. It's difficult to choose where your A leg starts in finding these. If you kind of test and check using this tool, this will show you the fib of your AB move and where C falls on that fib. So down here is a complete one retracement of the move. This would be 50% of the move, and that's, you know, nothing of the move. So with this being our low of the ABCD, we can go A to B, B to C. So we get a 725, which is within the realm of what we're looking for on an ABCD. And then we have our D sitting at the 1.54. So again, just to recap here, this leg down here, I'm sorry, the B to C, this needs to sit on fibs between 618 and 786. That is the range you should be looking for on the actual indicator tool here, anywhere between there. On this section up here, we want anywhere between 1272 and 1618. To be more precise, it's 1 point. I do it without the decimals when I'm viewing these. So these points are perfect for explaining an example of an ABCD. Oops. 0.618 and 0.786. So we get a nice fall down. And if you want to see how my profit targets actually worked out in this situation, take your C to your D, do a fib, and my targets would have been here at the 618, which is, it busted through. I would have taken profits there, and it looks like we only did it for about a candle or two. And we ultimately came down to touch this again between this last move. So what's really neat about this, and using this to tell future moves, is, do you see what's forming here? Could this be a bearish ABCD? We take our A to our B downward, our B to our C upward, and our D should be anywhere between the 1272, somewhere around here, and the 1618, somewhere down here. So let's just set it at the 1272 for now, or close to it. We'll go right there. Notice if you bring this out, it doesn't actually change where this is on the fib zone, because really all we're measuring is the fib from the A to B move. We're looking for extensions of that. So moving left and right will change the shape you're seeing, but not the actual numerical measurement. So what this is saying is that we need to watch Bitcoin right now, because if Bitcoin continues in this downward trend, we've already perfectly completed the first 3 points of an ABCD pattern. So I know a lot of people are saying that Bitcoin has finished its crash for now. It's a great buy point, and frankly it is. This is a great price in the scheme of things for what we've been seeing in the recent market, with just up, 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 up. But looking at the technical indicators, even with all the crazy news going on, we're seeing really clear signs that we may not be done falling yet. So is this point realistic, this D? If we, in the scheme of things here, using this D point as an entry, the next point that we'd be looking for to take a profit on before we see something else is the 618 level. So somewhere around here, it would come down and pop back up to the 618. So you'd have an entrance, and then you'd have a exit in terms of a long position. And you can see these in many parts of Bitcoin over time. So if we look back, let's see other ones we can find. Is that one right there? A, B. That's pushing it. A, B. No. How about A, B, C? So this is sitting at 719, which is within the range. D, 1.9 outside of the range. So looking at an ABCD, your entrance for the reversal would have been somewhere between here and down here at 1618. So even if you use this ABCD pattern to look for an entrance, we had the 0.719 fib, and then our D target, if we hadn't known anything moving past this section here, we would be watching and waiting for that price to happen in a quick fashion without any other major patterns forming. That still would have been a great entry point for the actual turnaround here. It wasn't perfect, and in cryptocurrency, you don't want to assume, you never want to assume that it's going to be just outside the range, but in a situation where you're on a bearish ABCD, if the overall market is bullish and you can look at other indicators like this support line right here, that is really not a bad entrance. We can continue looking on. Is this another one? We have A, B. Nope, that is not another one. You can use this tool very quickly that way. So here's another good example. We have A, this is a bearish, B, C, D, and reversal. This one didn't actually quite form. This one's just outside the realm of what we should have been taking. But that's another example of what I'm talking about. If it's very, very close, this is 606. I mean, we're talking a 618 level would have been at $5 more on Bitcoin, would have put this into a valid ABCD. So that's really up to your judgment on if you want to use that as a trading point. For me personally, if it's extremely close, I'm going to watch it. You know, ABCD is one of those indicators where you're not even actually entering until it completes. And if I see a situation like this where the ABC is close, and then my D completes at the point I was expecting it to, I'm likely going to buy there and just watch it carefully to see what it does next, because you should see blast off very close to your D point. And worst case, you lost a little, and you can see what it does next to find out if you were just completely off, and learn about the times that the ABCD does not work out when it's close but not perfect. So that's how to use ABCD, how to spot it, how to use it to predict your entry points. Again, let's go back to our current state of things. We just saw an ABCD completion followed by an exact downtrend following the 618 retrace level for our profit taking. And now we're seeing another one about to complete. So only time will tell if this does complete. And if we hit that D point, from what we see here, I would be buying. That's my recommendation. I will be buying. Let's put a fib here just for the heck of it. Let's look at this move. Look at that. D is sitting on, I gotta reverse that. This fib is reversed. D is sitting on the exact 0.618 zone. I mean, that's another very, very strong indicator that if our move from breaking out of this previous high to our next high, and our D just happens to be sitting exactly on a fib level, that's my buy zone, guys. But that's how you use it. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck trading out there.